Grip Shibboleth,
Yeah.
a sentient shrub, inventor of the Scream Silent Berries. Did you tell it to do that?
I said that it invented a rare product.
Scream Silent Berries.
Guess so.
Alright, day one. Shaka Zulu calmly collects his spear and slips into the tree line. Of course.
Yeah. Good.
That's what he is popular for, is killing people with spears, by the way.
I know.
Wesker,
short
he's a
spear.
Craven the Hunter. It's a
Yeah.
pike.
Your head on a pike.
Wesker grabs a medical kit and avoids the fight, already plotting. Adam Sandler grabs an entire tent and sprints away.
Okay.
Rebecca Chambers. Did I put down Rebecca Chambers or just Rebecca? No, I put down Rebecca Chambers. Rebecca and John Connor form an uneasy alliance. The Marauder kills one of the chiefs instantly, cleaving through the kitchen like a menace.
Whoa.
Grip Shiburex tries to consume a blight mushroom. It mutates temporarily into a spiky ball before reverting. Pepsi Man and Mari form Pepsi Man rescues Mari. I'm losing my mind. From a collapsing temple by barreling through vines. They become an unlikely pair. C2, Grace Howard, and Elastigirl agree to team up briefly, their minds sharp and observant. Santa finds Hatsune Miku weeping by a river.
Okay.
Keith, I'm just saying Keith. Keith is haunted by the sounds in the trees. His scanner pulses, but there is no ghost. There's only predators. Parkour God claims the high trees dancing across the branches silently. Samus sets up a camouflage trap, snaring, killing a venomous snake for food. Apollo charms Nino and Kel into a firelit discussion about survival. He's a born ordinator. What the hell is that noise? Wesker poisons a wellspring near the side of the jungle. President Business sets up a trap-filled perimeter with tripwires and pits. Joanne Hex picks off the second chief with a well-aimed throwing spear. Who are the chiefs? Chiefs.
Huh? Oh, the chefs.
The chefs. I must have read it as chiefs. That's why it said kitchen. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
From Little Nightmares.
I see. Yep, so both of them are dead.
Yeah.
Grip creates a scent bomb that tracks wild jaguars. Uh-oh. You didn't add that.
He's
No, the
added. He said
jaguars.
that he's an inventor.
No,
Well,
but
but they're in a
jaguars.
jungle.
Oh yeah, that desert.
Yeah.
Nino and Kel stumble to the overgrown bunker. Did I put down Kel from Omori, or did I just say Kel?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, I specified Omori.
Okay.
Why is it doing that?
Why are you doing this?
Where's that music coming from? No, it's my phone.
What is that melody? I have a good idea for a map.
Wow. This is so annoying. Why is that popping up? It's like pissing me off. And it always has. Leave me alone.
The infernal pop-ups.
Okay. Nino Kel stumble into an overgrown bunker with Apollo, only to find his filled with bones and old traps. They barely make it out. C2, Grace, and Elastigirl split up after an argument over rations. Grace wanders off and disables hidden cameras and drones. Uncle Aroth sits alone at a small fire, sharing tea with no one. Rebecca and John mourn the first real casualty, Keith, found dead by morning, his body shredded by jaguars.
Dang.
It's shredded and violated. Samus, John, Hex, and Marauder watch each other from afar. Mari cries herself to sleep, and Pepsi Man guards her. Santa Claus leaves a piece of jerky near Miku.
Okay. To cheer her up.
All right. Day 2, Sports and Secrets. Grip wakes up Elastigirl. The jungle is blooming with materials she's never seen before. He licks a spore and immediately hallucinates a conversation with the father tree. Is it just more hallucinations for no reason? Oh, yep. Yeah. Alright, whatever.
Don't worry about it.
Nino, Kel, and Apollo are all being stalked by glowing monkeys with venomous fangs. Apollo distracts them using fire, letting the teens escape. He's bitten but survives barely. Elastigirl starts to cough violently. The spores are infecting her lungs. She takes shelter in a damp cave where she's found by Santa Claus. Miku, influenced by the spore, starts singing uncontrollably. Her voice lures in a group of predatory birds, but Mari tackles her into the stream just in time. President Business sees the chaos as an opportunity. He weaponizes the flowers to traps, landing the vines with thorn seeds laying petal snares. Pepsi Man is immune to the spores due to his synthetic makeup. He becomes a savior. He carries Rebecca Chambers, who's overwhelmed by hallucinations, away from a glowing chasm where bloom colors vine writhe. C2 begins to see bloom colors as a god. She speaks softly to it, untouched by its violence, sitting calmly underneath its pulsating vines. Grace Howard, meanwhile, hacks into one of the camera drones she stole on day 2 when she discovers the bloom collar was engineered by Arena Hazard.
Wow.
She, a failsafe for passive games. She sends a signal to overload it, planning to do something big for Bay 4. The Marauder, laughs, mad from spore exposure, begins to carving his own armor with jungle bones. He kills a mutated jaguar with his bare hands and drinks its blood. Who's the Marauder from?
Doom Eternal.
Well, Uncle Aroth burns a massive tree, blooming with corrupted flowers using fire-starting kit. Adam Sandler finds a group of glowing frogs. She begins crooning to them. Somehow it keeps him sane. He survives of laughter and dumb luck. Grace Howard activates. The bloom collar begins reacting to its spores, shrinking, writhing, and enraged, its vines lash out blindly. Kel is whipped. What is that noise? What the hell is that thing?
What?
This guy.
Give a look at this guy.
It's an infant.
I see.
Alright. Kel's whipped across the chest by a thorn vine. But he uses his slingshot to knock a blooming pod into it, stunning the plant. Nino, Nakanel, and Mari discover a shattered ruin where the plant seems to have originated. They burn ancient glyphs without understanding them, causing the Bloomcaller to roar and retreat back underground.
Right.
In the chaos, President Business is caught by lashing root traps. He's pulled into the undergrowth, screaming. No one finds the body. Jonah Hex, too wounded to flee, sits calmly and smokes one final cigar before the Bloomcaller skewers him through the chest.
Damn.
Samus, wounded but alive, emerges from cover. She finds Rebecca Chambers and John Connor both recovering from the spore exposure. The jungle quiet for the first time in 2 days. The spores are gone, but some effects still linger. Wesker stands in the dark, expressionless, watching Grace sleep from afar, of course. I feel like anything like weird or cowardice is just like, oh yeah, that makes sense for him.
Yeah.
Hatsune Miku writes a song about chaos. C2 Untouched finds C2 Untouched through the entire storm lays beside the sleeping fox and stares at the stars. Alright. Sorry. Chapter 3.
Wait.
But what?
What happened to Shaka Zulu?
He's not dead.
Okay.
He just ran to the woodwork.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Let me ask about the survivors, then continue the chapter.
Okay.
Alright. Shaka Zulu reappears at dawn. I asked, where is he? He's spent the last 4 days living alone, watching from the trees. He's hunted without fire, moved without a sound, and mapped the entire terrain in his mind. Which,
shit.
Yeah. His expression is grim. He only speaks, but the jungle has chosen its demons. He meets Samus, Connor, and Rebecca, offering an alliance. Grace Howard, after temporarily shutting down the Bloomcaller in Chapter 2, begins receiving flickering images from the hacked drone feed again. She sees what looks like a supply drop planned on day 6. C2 meets Wesker under the cover of darkness. They form a strange, tense alliance. And based on manipulation and logic, Kel and Nino begin to drift apart. Kel is starting to crack, feeling over guilt over surviving while others died. Nino increasingly hardened, wants to go on the offensive.
Okay.
Mari, sensing this, chooses to follow Kel. She says nothing, but just walks beside him.
That's shocking.
Santa Claus and Hatsune Miku are ambushed while resting. The Marauder, still painted with blood and bark, attacks silently. Santa buys Miku time to flee, brawling with the Marauder in hand-to-hand combat. Despite his size difference, Santa's no warrior. He dies defending her.
Right.
Wesker, meanwhile, betrays C2. During the night, he poisoned her canteen with a neurotoxin. Yeah, that's about the
makes
team
sense for
of
Wesker.
Yeah, that's about the team based on trickery and manipulation.
Yeah, immediately poisons her.
Betrays her.
Yep. Brilliant. Doesn't use her for anything. Just immediately kills her. That is really funny because she is basically like a god. She can't die, and he's just like, no, I don't need you.
Such a great asset just to get
I
rid
know,
of.
yeah.
I love Albert Wesker.
That is really funny.
Oh,
Me too.
Lord. As promised, the hovercraft drops a single glowing crate onto the temple ruins. Everyone sees it. The temptation is too great. Pepsi Man and Grace race towards it. They're the first to arrive. Perhaps if their power Alaska also show up. Suddenly, booby traps in the temple trigger. Spears shoot from the walls. Vines snap upwards, and the ancient stones start to collapse. Adam Sandler tries to grab the crate and accidentally triggers a pressure plate. A massive stone crushes him immediately. Boulder.
Boulder.
The second boulder.
Yeah.
Apollo saves Elastigirl from falling, but slips into the ruins himself. His voice echoes once before going silent. Pepsi Man lifts the crate and throws it out the collapsing ruins towards Grace, sacrificing his own escape. The ruins bury him completely. Grace opens the crate inside of water purification tablets, rations, and thermal goggles.
Neat.
Just food and water. Ugh.
Yeah, can't do anything with those.
Samus, Shaka Zulu, John Connor, and Becca built a camouflage base near the temple outskirts. They're growing close, but trust is stained. Elastigirl quietly packs her things and disappears. Miku's, having lost Santa, uses her leftover jungle ink to draw his likeness in the tree trunk. Okay. Wesker finds the abandoned base of the parkour god empty. No traps, no blood, no signs, no struggle. Just gone.
The Marauder. That's crazy.
Yeah. The Marauder, restless and relentless, is seen sharpening weapons underneath the half moon. At sunrise, the big four alliances, Samus, Rebecca, Sean Carter, Shaka Zulu, sit around a fire. In silence, they've survived longer than most, but silence is like the jungle hides. It's what festers. Samus has grown wary of Shaka Zulu, nothing how he disappears for hours at a time. Rebecca notices John pocketing more rations than his share. Shaka silently resents Samus' caution, seeing her as too rigid and overly calculating. That morning, the alliance collapses. Not an argument, but a mutual decision to part ways.
Smart.
Elsewhere, death wears many faces. Grace, now hardened by Pepsi Man's sacrifice, hunts alone. She spots Wesker bathing in a small spring and sets a trap using pulleys and vine snares. See, I don't know if I should imagine him naked or in full clothing.
At least without his shirt.
I imagine him bathing in his entire suit.
Just fully clothed, yeah. That would make sense for him, actually.
That's why, because that's...
Yeah.
He sponsored Wesker. Did I save that image of Albert Wesker? Hold on, let me double check. I'm getting so distracted. Oh my lord. I did not save the image for why I saved him. No, why I chose him.
Let's see. Goat.
It works. The trap works. It snares Albert Wesker and strings him upside down. Grace appears out of nowhere and shoots him in the face with a revolver. Nino, now hardened and increasing cold, confronts Mark and Kel at a waterfall and just insults them. That's it. My ear. Elastigirl scouts the outer perimeter of the arena and discovers signs of a forced relocation, tree marks. forced relocation, tree marks with carved arrows, cameras being moved, and she deduces the arena is shrieking. The Marauder is now dressed in spiked bone armor and ambushes John Connor in the night. John manages to set a homemade trip mine, but is caught too close in the blast. He dies from shrapnel, but so does Marauder. Miku, still singing soft lullabies to herself, finds a still warm corpse by a river. It's a girl, a knife wound in her back, clearly betrayed. Shaka Zulu watches from above, silent, thoughtful. He knows the blade that killed her was his, but not. He did not wield it. Someone stole it from him.
Interesting.
Kel and Mari awaken to find their camp sabotaged. Their food is gone, shelter burned. Kel insists it's Nino, but Mari tries to calm him down. Shaka Zulu tracks the thief, finding evidence of Wesker's body and Grace's trail. He doesn't confront her yet, but makes a decision. Rebecca, meanwhile, happens upon Miku dazed and lying in the moss. She helps her up, tending to her wounds, but begin traveling together. Without warning, flamethrowers ignite patches of the jungle throughout the arena. Ignite patches of the jungle throughout the arena. The game masters are collapsing the play zone. Everyone's forced inwards towards the ruins where Pepsi Man died. Why does it specify that? Kel goes missing. Yeah, Kel goes missing during the chaos. Mari screams his name until her voice is raw. Nino runs towards the center alone, face unreadable. Shaka follows silently from the trees. Grace, hiding on the ground, and watches it all through her stolen drone feed. Kel's status is unknown, but presumed dead. The parkour god, his status is unknown, but we don't know if he's alive or dead truly.
Okay.
Like he's not presumed dead. That's why he's not marked down as dead.
Got it. I haven't heard about him. Haven't heard from him
since
like the beginning.
The jungle is now a little more than a smoking ring of charred trees. The survivors, some broken, some deadly, are drawn like animals to the last water source. Rebecca Chambers and Miku are the first to arrive. Rebecca insists they stay out of sight, but Miku is overwhelmed and sings softly to herself. Nino appears next, blood-stained, eyes hollow. She looks at Miku and Rebecca without emotion. Samus arrives from above, dropping in from a ruined balcony, and a brutal skirmish ensues. Rebecca stabs Nino in the thigh. Samus disarms her, but Nino elbows her across the jaw and sprints away, vanishing into the smoke. That's pretty good for being stabbed in the leg.
Yeah.
Grace Howard has raked the ruins with proximity mines, hack drones, and failing battery EMP bursts. She watches from above, watches all from a sunken pit, half mad from fatigue. From below, I guess, not from above. Just a few more steps, she whispers. Mari, alone now, reaches the ruins and calls out for Kel. No answer. A shadow passes above her. Shaka Zulu, his face painted in ash and leaves.
Yo.
Your friend was taken. I found his bracelet. And then Mari silently weeps.
Damn.
That's it. Why is he so nice? He's a fucking warlord.
No, that's a good interaction.
No, but it's just funny. He offers help, but he's just some African warlord.
I know, yeah.
Samus, Rebecca, and Miku begin working together. They clear small tower to rest, knowing the final battle is close. Grace sees this, and she flips the switch on her EMP, but it fails. Her device sparks and explodes, revealing her position. As the smoke clears, the parkour god appears. He sprints across the vertical ruins like a ghost. He slashes Grace's shoulder, vanishing before she can scream.
Okay.
Zulu finds Samus and challenges her on a one-on-one for honor. In the quiet moonlight, they duel hand to hand. Samus lands heavier strikes. Shaka Zulu adapts with quick, savage blows. Finally, he lands a throat strike and disarms her, but spares her life. You fight as a warrior, that's enough. He disappears into the jungle. But Samus barely survives after being stabbed in the neck. Oh my god.
Yeah. She'll probably bleed out.
Grace is ambushed by Nino, who finally snaps. Nino rants about people playing gods, calling Grace a coward and hiding behind tech. Grace, unarmed, takes a shard of metal and lets Nino stab her, then pulls Nino close and impales her with her shard. They both die.
Damn.
That sucked.
Yeah.
Rebecca, wounded, tells Miku to run if anything happens. Okay, real quick. I think one of the things about Shaka Zulu is it's so funny. They treat him like some honorable man. The reason
Yeah.
he became such a powerful like chieftain, like warrior, is because one of the things he would do is he would go up to other tribes and challenge like this is just hearsay. I never looked into it myself, but this is what I heard. He would challenge other like people to like a match of intimidation, who can intimidate the other the best and stuff. And so him
Yeah.
and their greatest warrior would intimidate or go to intimidate each other, but Zulu would just stab him immediately and leave. So he just killed the best warrior and walks off.
Cool.
That's
I
you know,
mean,
which
that's one way to do it.
yeah, which is just it's just funny though. Just oh yeah,
It
we're
is.
trying to intimidate each other.
Yeah. Immediately killed him.
Rebecca, wounded, tells Miku to run if anything happens. Mari hears Miku's song again, reunites with her. They embrace and cry, but Parkour God watches. He attacks. Rebecca is knocked off the ledge and dies on the impact. Mari, trying to shield Miku, is struck in the ribs. Miku tries to run. He grabs her by the throat and is shot through the skull by Shaka Zulu, who throws down the gun. So, yeah, the survivors are Shaka Zulu, Mari, Samus, and Hatsune Miku.
Kill each other.
Yeah, Shaka Zulu kills the Parkour God. He's such a good guy. Why is he so nice?
What a great guy.
What a great game. Samus and Shaka fight again. He overpowers her and strangles her until she's unconscious before stabbing her. That's hot. Mari and Miku neither want to fight. Mari slits her throat.
Damn.
Shaku tries to plead with her not to fight, and that there could be a better way of doing it. But Mari claims that while she doesn't want to win, someone has to, and she steps forward to try to kill him. Shaka just simply sidesteps her and stabs her.